Well, good morning here on the eve of July the 4th. July the 4th, Independence Day. It's the day we celebrate our independence. And why was this day go down in history? Because on July the 4th in 1776, a group of men gathered together and created a document decreeing their independence from another country, which was the formation of our country. And I was lucky enough, and Cheryl also, that when we had our 200th anniversary of this, we were living, and I remember the celebration of that 200-year date in time. So the question I got to you today is, how are you celebrating your independence? And what will be your direction as you move forward from the 4th of July? You see, one of the things about living in this great country that we live in is we have the independence to set our own path, to make our own choices, to go where we want to go in this world. Ever since we started CBC Success Group, our motto has been and our mission is to assist our clients in taking their business dreams and turning it into their business realities. And what's that all about? It's enabling them to have a business that's pleasing to them and delivers to them the things that they really want in life, to do the things that they want to do. So, Cheryl, what's your thoughts here on Independence Day of 2021?
Well, it's definitely different from last year's Independence Day. This year, the independence of just day to day living is opening up. But in my opinion, I think people need to celebrate a little differently. I think they need to, instead of party all the time, drink all the time, and just generally make it a fun thing. I do believe it can be fun, but you need to reminisce and you need to understand why these people did what they did to give us the independence that we have at this point. A lot of people lost their lives prior to this. And I don't think a lot, especially of the younger people, are do really realize what Independence Day is. And history has not kept up with the generations. And there's where I think the problems lie today, or coming up in the next day or two. We are now at the 4th of July week, not the 4th of July day. So at least on the 4th, sit back and remember why we have the independence that we do.
And I think this is a significant thing about Independence Day, which is you have the independence to do what you think is best for you. And not only that, do you realize you have the independence to be great? And you see, no matter what our fears are, no matter what our paranoias are, so no matter what other people think, you have that independence to go where you want to go, to have the things that you want to have, to guide your life, to enjoy life of what you're doing. Because see, one of the things is we never know how long we're going to be here. We never know when our time on this earth is going to end. So what you got to do is decide for yourself. You have the independence to be great. You have the independence to do the things in life that you feel like are best for you, short of doing something that's illegal against the society, those type of things. You don't have the independence to hurt other people, but you do have the independence to pursue your dreams. You have the independence to amass the things that you want to. You have the independence to make a decision of how you want to contribute to society, how you're going to help other people get where you're doing. When Cheryl was going through her Ziglar training, and I started studying a lot of what Zig Ziglar quotes were, one of them was that Ziglar said, if you help enough people get what they want, they'll help you get what you want. And Zig had so many great comments like that and great quotes. Cheryl, is there anything you would add that you learned from your Ziglar training to help people decide how they can meet Zig at the top, as he said?
Well, he wrote a book about it. You were born to win. You were not born to lose. But the thing is, you have to take the steps. Nobody can walk you up those steps, and there's no elevator. If you're going to win, it's a staircase, one step at the time. You may think you're at the top sometime, but just always remember there's a little more. And the thing that you need to do is start today. This is not a procrastination feat. Start today, and you're born to win.
Right. And if I remember right, in some of your training and the seminars that you were licensed to present from Ziegler, there was a stairwell that was created of getting to the top. And it was all the components. And recently, we even did a presentation on one of our podcasts about the wheel of success and all the different wheels that you've got to do. And Cheryl, do you see that people leave out some of those wheels, or maybe they try to jump over those steps of success?
Oh, yeah, and you can't do it. There's no elevator. It's step by step, and it's a progressive thing. One step leads to the next. And if you skip over it, hypothetically, when you get to the top, you're not complete.
Yeah.
Just as the wheel, if you don't follow all the aspects of the wheel, which is your family, your home, your beliefs, your work, the whole gambit, if you don't follow all of those and make all of them important, number one, your wheel won't be round and it won't roll that good. So that's between the stairs and the wheel, that's where you get to your accomplishment.
Right. And you also have to remember, if you are a leader, and most people are leaders, we're leaders as parents, we're leaders as spouses. You know, in a lot of ways, Cheryl is a leader to me, and I'm a leader to her, hopefully. And what we do is, but that's what you've got to remember. If you've got a team of people, how are you leading them? Because they really depend on you. You know, Cheryl, it was really interesting this week because I did a SWAT meeting for a client this week, right?
Mm-hmm.
So during this SWAT meeting, where we go over the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats, at the end of the day, the employer had set up a dinner for everybody at a steakhouse. And what he did, he invited all of his people there and their families. Okay. This was not just the workers, this was the families. As we were sitting at the restaurant, this is what I told the worker. I told the owner. I want you to look at the economic impact of your company. I want you to look at the number of people that the decisions you make as a leader will affect their livelihoods and their lives. And a lot of times I think we forget that. And this is part of leading. And, you know, I'm a John Maxwell certified coach. And part of what I went through in training was one of the processes, which is the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, as published in Dr. John Maxwell's book, that by that title of going through there. But there's another book that he published also. And the title of that book is The Greatest Story Ever Told. The Greatest Story Ever Told. And I got this book and it was really intriguing to me because there was only one page printed in that book. And if you're listening to me right now, either live or on the replay, take this one to heart, please, because it was a message from Dr. Maxwell. And it said the following: this book is blank except for this one page, because the greatest story that will ever be told is the story that you tell, that you have the greatest story that will ever be told. And see, each of us has a story inside of us. It's one of the things that Scott McKinney teaches, who's one of our coaches. It's what's your story? What is your story? And you see, as you go through and you get into your later years in life, which we're at that stage at this point, right? You say no, but we are. But as you go, you look back and you look back at your life story and what's your life story all about? And what is your life story? How have you changed the world? How have you moved forward? How have you possibly inspired another? How have you done the things that are something that will live on past you? You see, that's what all of us need to be looking at. What's the legacy we leave behind? I heard this some years ago when I went through training with Jeffrey Gitomer, when he was explaining his online training platform. And he said the following words: I'm almost 70 years old, and I put this together as a legacy for what I'm doing. So that's the question for you. As you leave this Independence Day, as you go through the next week and the next days forward, what's the legacy that you're building? What's the legacy you're building and sharing with those that you lead? Because there's a lot of people that lead you. That's good morning, Larry. Happy 4th of July to you, my friend. Glad you could join us today. It's really good to see there, and I hope you're having a great 4th of July. So you know that's a guy that I call the sweeping chef. He's been a friend of mine for many, many years, and he's really inspires people with the cooking that he does and how great it is, Larry. So appreciate you being here today, sweeping chef. So, but that's the story I want you to think about. What is your legacy? Because, see, even if you're not a business owner, you work with other people likely on your team. And how are you positively influencing those other people? You know, as you go through life, that's one of the unique opportunities we have is we have an ability in order to influence others. But I think we also have a responsibility to influence people in a way that will benefit you. So, Cheryl, anything you want to add before we end this live presentation today?
What I'd like to add as a coach and a mother and a grandmother, take some time over the next day or two to talk to your kids about why we celebrate Independence Day. So this will mean something to them in the future. Hopefully the independence lasts forever. But as we know, things change. We have got to take the younger generation and train them in the ways of independence.
Yeah. And as you go to a fireworks show or you see fireworks, I want you to think for a minute. Those fireworks are kind of like light. And you see this firework and you hear it go boom, and it takes off and you see it going through the air. And what happens is it gets up there and hopefully it's going to explode. Sometimes you have a dud. Sometimes it doesn't look that good. But sometimes, Cheryl, it's just mind boggling when you see those fireworks going off. So, how can you ignite the fireworks? How can you invite the fireworks and what's there? And Richard, that's exactly true. You agree. We have to train the younger generation in what's coming up. And that's probably one of the things where we've got to really look and looking at our parenting skills. And parenting is not just with your children. Parenting is with the younger people. Many times, if you're an employer today, you're actually a parent to the person that works for you and how you're going to help them get where they can have their dreams. So with that, hey, we appreciate you taking a few minutes out of your time here on a Saturday morning. I know I just had some thoughts about Independence Day and how people put this work to build it for their own selves. And I called Cheryl, I said, hey, I'm getting ready to do a live video. You want to get with me on it? So she did. So I'm Jerry Eisenhower, and you are?
I'm Cheryl.
And she is Cheryl Eisenhower, and we are part of the CVC Success Group team. We call it a group of subject matter experts, because we try to have a team of people that are going to help you get to your business dreams. But it's going to be up to you to make your life dreams real. No one can do that for you, and no one else can decide what those life dreams are. So appreciate you joining us today, and we'll see you next time on the next broadcast here from the CVC Success Group.